Woo!
Hello, everybody. Happy
What up? What up? What
Easter.
up?
What
Happy
a
Easter.
day at Great American Ballpark, and welcome to this week's edition of Late Night Reds, brought to you by the Riverfront Media Network, and of course brought to you by our wonderful friends at SeatGeek, where if you just are looking to catch a Reds game where, I don't know, they're down 5-3 on their last strike of a game, and they just so happen to win, and you want to be there for that, go to
Yes,
SeatGeek,
sir.
use the term Riverfront, and get $20 off your first order. And we're also, of course, brought to you by our wonderful Patreons over at patreon.com/Riverfront, where you also can join the conversation. Like we said, hope you had a great Easter. I know that my Easter looked very rough there for about 8 innings. And
Yeah.
then with about 8 2/3 innings, I should say.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden had a magical flip. Man, Ben, obviously I was in attendance today with Sidney Price, with Joe Farfsing, with Coop, with Stephen Offenbaker, with Branch Brown. I met Branch today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, Branch,
Dope.
very swole human being. I was taken aback.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Yeah. Steven says you got to watch the game with me and you're blessed. Walked it off blessed twice.
Yes,
Let's
sir. Yes,
let's
sir.
just go through. We're going to talk about the weekend. Obviously, the Reds are now 2-1. They take 2 out of 3 for the Nationals. But we got to go through. We just got to talk about today because we start out because it was just nuts. So, first off, CJ Abrams hits that home run, and it's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. And then they immediately score 2 runs. And you're like, okay, cool. Then Washington brings it makes it 3-3, and you're like, all right, Nick Martinez, a little spotty, whatever. Bullpen comes in. Buck Farmer looks atrocious. 4-3. And then we have and then Fernando Cruz, which and all the things we're talking about with the offensive heroics and Ellie's catch in the 9th inning, which we're going to get to. Fernando Cruz comes in, bases loaded, no outs. TJ Antone can't find the strike zone. Dave Bell gave him 3 batters. He couldn't find strike zone. He said, nah, we're not doing this. Shout out David Bell. That was
absolutely
great decision.
Huge call.
For sure. And then Fernando Cruz comes in, gets a strikeout, does give a sac fly, but and then gets through the inning, which dude, I mean,
which you're happy.
Right. You're like, okay,
happy.
Take care of business there. 5-3, make it work, whatever. And then, so that is huge.
Yeah.
Lucas Sims. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome in the 9th inning. For everything we can say about what the bullpen did and how rough they were this weekend, and they were. Those 2 dudes right there, gave them a chance. And that's what you're asking for in that game, right? And then Ellie just makes that unbelievably insane catch. You can see why he was signed with Jordan Brand was the joke I made multiple times.
Ellie does what Ellie does, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ellie does Ellie things, you know?
Needed all 6'6" in his Inspector Gadget arms to make that catch because it's behind him.
There's not a shortstop in the league that could make that catch. I mean, as far as having the wingspan and being 6'6" to be able to get to that ball, that's a bloop single, dude. 95% of the time.
It was a bloop single yesterday with Stuart Fairchild in center field.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's insane.
And so, okay, the Indy at bat. So first off, Fraley smokes the ball at the bottom to start the bottom of the 9th, right at Lane Thomas.
Yeah,
that happens.
Luke
Maley makes contact, goes right to their third base, and you're like, all right, whatever. This sucks. I'm sitting with Offenbaker, and we're pissed. We're God, they can't lose this series. Not to start the year, not to this team. There's just no way. Not counting the season out by any stretch of the matter.
Right.
But
it's just a sour taste in your mouth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially since you had one yesterday that you let slip through, and you're like, it was a really sour taste.
Yeah,
really sour taste.
For sure. And then that Jonathan India at bat, the greatest at bat of his life had to have been. I mean, just 10 pitches. They're down to their people were they're down to the last out. They were down to their last strike.
Absolutely.
And
he absolutely battled, dude. I mean, and if you go back and watch it at bat, which they've got it posted on Twitter, because I was just looking at that. I mean, it's just insane. The pitch he was able to foul off, the one he rolls down, it's a dribbler.
Yeah.
Rolls over the line, foul. You're like, you're like, dang, that sucks. But then he comes back. I mean, he freaking sticks with it, hits a double. I mean, it was just an insane at bat of just perseverance by him, man. It was really fun to see that battle and him win it.
Yeah, and then man, and then Willie Beeman, who's just like, so Reds fan Brandon, on Base Machine on Twitter, one of my favorite Twitter follows, pointed this out as we talked about the Benson thing. 6 balls this weekend hit over 100 miles an hour off the bat. That's pretty crazy. I mean,
that's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, like Steve and I, we're like, when we're like, he's due for a homer, he's smoking the ball, like something, like it's just, he's getting base hits.
Yeah,
he's been great.
Yeah, I mean, he had a double today, he crushed. I mean, he just hit it right down the line. I mean, just smoked it.
We're like, he's due for a bomb, and then sure enough, like you watch like their center fielder just chasing, you're like, oh, he might run that down. Especially, Benson missed that homer earlier that bounced off his glove.
Yeah. And
it's like, okay. And like, just goes over. And we're like, oh, crap. I'm still celebrating when Strand hits his homer. Like, it took me like a second, like, for it to click. I heard the bat. Like, I'm like looking at Steve. I'm looking at Joe and Sydney and like Branson. Yeah. We're like all high-fiving. And like, we just hear the bat. And I like look over and I'm like, holy crap. Because that was one of those like bats where it's like, you didn't have to look up.
No,
you knew where it was landing.
Absolutely.
Like, it was just one of those like, and it was like, holy crap. And especially Strand was 0 for 4 with 2 runs to a double play.
And he was 0 for 12 for the series.
Yeah.
0 for 12. And dude, and it was the same thing here at the Brown household. We're sitting there. I mean, I'm sitting there. Everybody else is trying to get food together and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just intensely watching. I'm like, man, come on, India. Come on, India. He comes through. Benson hits the bomb. We're like, yeah, all right, let's go. Oh my gosh, CES! Just like that, we were like, dude, this is incredible. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's the first time the Reds have gone back-to-back to walk off a game since 2013 against the Braves when Chu and Mesoraco did it off Craig Kimbrell.
Oh, wow.
Which I don't know if you remember that game. That game was also insane. That game was incredible.
That was a wild game, yeah.
But dude, just like, it was just like this amazing, like Steve and I were joking. It's like, it flipped the whole weekend. Like it flipped, like going into Monday work, like it was like, perfect.
Yep.
And just like how awesome it was and how good you feel. And, well, don't get me wrong, we're going to kind of go down the line here and talk about the weekend in general, but we had to start there because that was just like, I've seen some crazy wins at Great American Ballpark. That's pretty high on the list.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like I said before, like it just, if we'd have lost today, like of course the season's not over. We're 3 games in. I mean, I'm not, I mean, well, this isn't crazy, but like just the sour taste of, because we sat there and watched Alexis Diaz blow that save yesterday. Either way, I mean,
6 one and half dozen the other.
Right, exactly. I'm saying, like, he came in and I mean, he was just atrocious. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but to watch that, because I mean, our team battled all weekend to put up runs, to secure wins, and to watch that. And if we'd have lost that one today, like, of course, the season's not over, but dude, it'd have made our Monday suck. It'd have been like, just sour. You just had that sour taste of, man, we just, not only did we give away 2 games to the Washington Nationals, but it was the Washington Nationals, like a team that we should handle with our talent. No matter who's injured, we should handle easily. But I did think we got some questions. I mean, not answered, but we kind of got a feel for some different things too. So
yeah, for sure. Man, so our chat is live right now, and there's so many things that, like, there's so many comments that if I just shared them all,
baby. Let's go.
So let's kind of go through. Obviously, let's go here. Willie B about to have a massive year. Big Willie style. That's the talk of the town. Obviously, we're going to go through that. Scott is here. Scott came to the show tonight.
Hey, what's good?
I like this one. Never give up, never surrender from Mr. Juan.
Yeah.
Perfect. Man. Yeah, Josh, absolutely. Kind of a hard way to go get 2 out of 3, for sure.
Man, no doubt.
So, man, everyone's there. Seth Shader, everyone's here. Should you watch the company you keep? Tim, tell that to Ben. He's like, I hang out with Tim. Like, Pat, Will Benson's my favorite player. Like, okay. So the conversation, the theme right now is and by the way, we just want to let you know that you were garbage for the Cubs yesterday. So thank you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a rough outing. It was tough. You guys, hey, listen, you guys sent that over, and I'm like, hey, you guys. I mean, one, I would never pitch for the Cubs, but two, my namesake was awful yesterday.
Dude, Will Benson. All right, so let's bring this
Talk
in.
about it.
Let's bring
Talk
this in.
about it.
Yeah, as Trick Williams would say, let's talk about it.
Yep, let's talk about it.
So we had the conversation with TJ Friedel out. Like, look, man, like, we want to see him get opportunities against lefties. We want to see what he can do. And look, very, very, very small sample size. We're well aware as we say this, but yesterday, off of Patrick Corbin, has smokes that double off of him as a left-handed pitcher. We see what he did today against, obviously right-handed pitching. But through 3 games, it's like showing the signs of that I'm not going to go and say he's there now because, again, we're trying to hone in the excitement, just make sure we're being rational fans. But I'm sure we're going to overreact to things and just have fun because that's what we should do as fans. But I think we're seeing glimpses that he can eventually end up actually being an everyday player. And again, I know I'm reacting like 3 at-bats against the left-handed pitcher, but man, like the balls he was hitting, he had that walk yesterday off Corbin that was like awesome. And like you could see, like he was jazzed and he got that walk. But dude, just what an awesome, awesome weekend for Willie Beeman. And we can't play the song anymore because copyrights.
Yeah, I know. But I'll say this: like it was encouraging to see it and to try to harness our excitement. It was good to see him play well in the field, dude. I swore he went and got that home run ball. Like if you go back and watch that tape, dude, he was so high up on the wall. I mean, if he would have got it, I mean, he timed it perfect. It was just a misplay of the glove. But man, he went up there so quick. He got to his height so fast that I think he got up there faster than he thought he was up there and just mistimed it.
No kidding, Red Legs.
Yeah.
I said to start good teams don't lose those games on Sunday, so that's how good teams win games.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, man, I mean, Willie Beeman, he played well in the field. I mean, I think he played right field yesterday, center Thursday,
for 2 games,
for 2 games. So played well. But dude, he just looks confident, and I think that's the best part about it is that he's coming up to at bats, lefties, righties. It doesn't matter. Like he looks confident. His stance looks confident. His swing looks confident. And he is attacking the baseball. He is not letting pitches dictate.
Right, that's big.
He is attacking baseball. So it's good to see. It's exciting to see because as this lineup starts to come together and you start getting your everyday piece together, you know that you can play him against lefties and righties. That's huge. That's huge because he's a game changer. I mean, he's a guy that can hit for power. He can hit doubles. He can steal bases. He's a guy that's got all the skills. Yeah. He can draw walks. He's got all the skills that you want. And for be able to play him on both on lefties and righty days is huge if he can stay that consistent.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, you mentioned the defensive situation where like Stuart Fairchild probably cost the Reds 2 runs in center field yesterday, and today, I mean, I'm not going to say that Will Benson as like Cesar Geronimo are by any stretch of the matter, but
right.
I mean, kept the game manageable in center field. Didn't have anything go over his head. Didn't have any situations where like you said, like that ball bounced off the side of his glove. It's not like it just like completely whiffed on it.
Yeah.
It's just been really, really awesome, man. And you mentioned just that capability and like the knowledge of the strike zone, which is the thing that jumped out so much last year. And that whole, and like even with the struggles that he had to start the season when he came back up, it was just like you knew he knew the strike zone, and you saw that how much that's helping with obviously going against lefties here. Just a total like we said, six batted balls over 100 miles this week against that's insane.
which is smoke. And I don't know if, and of course, I mean, the more that you're seeing these batting statistics, I don't know how people realize how hard it is to hit a ball with an exit velo of 100 miles an hour. Like you are smoking a baseball. Like average is like 90, 94 to 98. You hit them over 100, dude, and you are making excellent contact with the baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
that's smoking baseballs.
Yeah, Sydney says this play has calmed me down from being worried about how TJ got hurt. Like a lot of us, all of
Yeah.
us feel that
Yep.
way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just absolutely. So like he's got to get his flowers. Few little things they did today. Just playing the Reds brand of baseball we've fallen in love with over the last couple of years that I really wanted to point out. So Spencer Steer has that infield single where Ellie goes first to third.
Yep.
Like that was awesome. That was just fantastic. Like just those little things that he does, and just speed never slumps, as Joe said today at the ballpark, and it's very obvious how huge that play ended up being in the game. Ellie also had a triple today. Where here's the thing about it. So, granted, I don't know how it looked on TV, but I don't know if it's just he's that fast that it looked like he was kind of like running slow for Ellie De La Cruz.
It looked like that, dude. It looked like he was just kind of coasting. Like he knew he had a triple, and he was just looking to see if that guy was going to misplay a ball so that he could go home. But he definitely looked like he was just cruising. He was not running.
Okay. I'm glad you said, because I was like, is he like, did he think he maybe had a shot at inside the park home run and it didn't work out that way? But okay, that makes more sense. We obviously talked about the catch and things like that. Jake Fraley today.
Yeah.
3 hits.
3 hits.
And that last one was also a like just smashed off the bat right at Lane Thomas. So he is off to an awesome start. So he's off to a 1.375 OPS. 3 games. I'm well aware, but we got to talk about it, as the kids say. Let's talk about India. So couple big at bats today, not just the double, which was unreal, but draws a walk. That was huge. Gets that RBI early in the game where he's as we were laughing, as Sydney said, productive outs. We were like laughing about like, I totally had like old man baseball moments there where I was like, I feel like my dad. Like, he moved the runner over on that ground ball to first base. And I'm like, oh my God, I sound like that guy now. Like, God.
Right.
Am I going to be asking for sacrifice bunts now? No, not. But yeah, so like, let's talk about India. We'll do India first. We'll do Fraley because obviously India is part of the heroes of today. But I was catching up on Jim Day's podcast because he had India on for the first episode, and then Frankie, as we learned to pronounce his name this week, Moontoss is how he asked you to pronounce it. Is what it was. Learn that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was confirmed on television. Yeah.
Our apologies, Mr. Moontoss.
All of us, apologies. But so India kind of talked about. One of the things he kind of said was like, I really enjoy leading off. He's like, I thrive there. It's kind of like just talked about how he really he really likes to have that mindset. And we talked about this last week with like, it takes a special person to try to get the last 3 outs in the 9th inning. It takes a special person to want to be the first batter of the game. Like to have those like pregame jitters, so like just kind of be like willing to just take the bat and be the first guy up there. And I think this is kind of the one, say what you will about his ups and downs of his career. That's the one thing where you can always say like he's always played really well in that circumstance. And today was another example of that. Just what he was able to do to kind of like get things started. Benson's last name is pronounced Moonshot. That's
hey, touche.
Well done, Brandon.
Touché.
Well done.
Touche.
I couldn't ignore that comment. That was too good.
No, that was dope.
But man, just like what a great showing for India. For a guy who's been through everything he's been through this offseason, and was very impressive in the sense of like, hey, I know that like I've been talking about being traded, but like I would love to stay here if you guys would keep me. Let's sign a 2-year contract. Like, kudos, man. What a day for him.
Yeah, it's cool to see, and I think we touched on this last week. How big his signing was. Like a guy that can come in and play the infield. I mean, you lose Matt McClain, a guy that you're counting on to be the guy, the man. Then you lose your leadoff hitter and your center fielder, and you have a guy like Jonathan India, who is, a veteran, a leader, and he comes in and does what he does, man. I mean, it's kudos to him, like you said. All the stuff that was talked about in the offseason, all the stuff about not having enough room for him in the infield, and making him move positions and moving on, and we need to out with the old, all the other stuff that was said. But kudos to him. He came in and he's proven that he's a leader. He's proven that he belongs. He's proven that he can come in and do the job at the leadoff spot. He's going to have to play second base now that McClain is out, probably for the season. So he gives you a guy that is a veteran guy there as well. So had great at bats this weekend. Did a great job of setting the table as the leadoff hitter this weekend, which he's done before. I mean, he's no stranger to hitting leadoff. So big ups to him, and that he played extremely well, and he kind of got our lineup. I mean, he kind of gets us going, right? Like, he's that guy. So
yeah,
it's cool.
So Brandon says here, India hitting at his rookie of the year form helps erase some of the injury struggles if he can keep it up. For sure, man.
Yep.
I think we've talked about it. We kind of all can see him having that 2020 upside as being that kind of guy. And he's just a really good athlete. So that's why they are willing to kind of give him these opportunities to play different positions. Seem to really enjoy first base in spring training. So if they do have that circumstance, but like you said, for the foreseeable future, it looks like probably be him and Espinal splitting reps at second base. Which is fine. No one's going to be upset about that by any means. But
no, not at all.
Just like what he was able to do, I mean, that, like I said, that at bat, I'll remember that at bat probably forever. That's like, I remember the Jay Bruce at bat in Game 5 of the NLDS for the opposite reason, that it was like 13 pitches and didn't go our way.
Didn't go our way.
We were due. We deserved to get this one. We deserve this one today. Yes, let's talk about Fernando Cruz. We definitely got to talk about him. We'll get to that after Fraley. But dude, all right. So a lot to talk about when it comes to Jake Fraley.
Yep.
And obviously I know he had that boneheaded play on the bases today. That wasn't great. But
not his highlight. His highlight.
We move past this, folks. But starts the freaking weekends, Thursday, throw it out Jesse Winker trying to stretch into a double.
Yep, absolutely.
We're like, first inning. You're like, okay. Yep. How about that?
Right.
Yeah.
Started off right.
And then hit 625 this weekend.
Yes,
also
he did.
smoking hits for the team. 8 at bats, 625, 1.4, nearly 1.4 OPS. Had a stolen base, a huge stolen base at that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously the thing that we've kind of all been looking at for the sake of Jake Fraley is his daughter and everything she's going through. And obviously just like thoughts and prayers with that situation, just hoping the best for that family. And like we kind of saw like seeing like the whole city get behind that and rally with that. He's doing this thing with the Dragonfly Foundation. Like we're talking about a guy who dealt with stuff. That dude dealt with the scariest stuff possible.
Yeah.
And
I'll say this though, Tim, about the city of Cincinnati. Like we saw this with Devin Still, we see this with Fraley, we saw this with Nick Castellanos. Like our city is going to get behind you. We are a group of people that love to be a rally around the people that are with us. Does that mean we do? You know what I mean? So, I know that he talked about, his daughter and her cancer situation, and we rally, dude. That's what we do, which is, great for the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah, man. And like for him to kind of get focused on the baseball field and do what he's been doing, holy moly, man, just smoking balls and just playing this thing. Doing his thing. Oh, yeah, Sydney mentioned Ted Karras rallying behind him with the Cincy hat.
Yep.
How cool that's
Absolutely.
been. But man, like just an awesome weekend. A guy you just can't feel better for everything he's going through to just go out there and do his thing. And, talented as can be. Also got some situations where he got to go against left-handed pitching and did not disappoint. So very
Hit
excited
the ball
about
well.
Yeah, man, just really, really stoked about him. There's so many people we got to get to, and like, there's just so much fun. But yeah, Fernando Cruz today. We talked about it. We went over it.
Yeah. Yep.
But holy moly, man! Like, And a situation where Alexis Diaz didn't look good, Buck Farmer didn't look good. Let's see, who else today? TJ Antune obviously did not look like the TJ Antune we're familiar with. And then just kind of, and even yesterday, Fernando Cruz didn't have his best day, but, to be able to take the ball today and be like, look, I got this. Like, just so impressive, so unbelievably awesome. Got that filthy sinker. That's just, oh my gosh. Man, just what an awesome outing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, there's nothing. I would say that there's nothing harder in baseball than going and being a relief pitcher after a day you did not have your best stuff.
Yeah,
have
man.
to come into that situation and have to have your best stuff. You know what I mean? It's insane. And those guys have to have a short-term memory because they're called on so much to be able to do incredible stuff. You know what I mean? Guy comes in, base loading. You got to try to keep them within striking distance for us to try to win a baseball game. And he came in and just had his good stuff today. I mean, his sinker was working. I mean, he was able to get some ground ball outs, some fly. I mean, he was able to come in and get outs, and it was really cool to see because, like you said, did not have his best stuff the day before. Was able to rally back, forget that outing, and come back in and have a really great outing. Pretty much saved the ball game for us because that could have got really ugly really quick. It got to 5-3. It could have got to 7-3 really quick.
Very easily.
It was
very easily.
One bad pitch, one mistake, and that's a 7-3 ball game. And we're not sitting here celebrating the Reds like we do on Sundays.
Yeah. Sidebar. Can we just talk about how impressive CJ Abrams was this week? That dude is going to be awesome. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Didn't walk at all last year and drew 4 walks this weekend.
Right.
I couldn't wait for him to leave Cincinnati.
Yeah. He was pretty incredible.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was pretty incredible.
For a second. Oh man. Oh yeah, Trey Lipscomb, Wally Pippen, Nick Senzel this weekend.
Oh man. Man. Wally Pip. Yeah. You ain't right. You ain't lying about that.
Nick Senzel. Poor
so
guy.
So unfortunate, man.
What is this voodoo that is just going on for him?
I don't know.
Right before the game starts, he breaks his thumb.
Breaks his thumb, man.
Good Lord.
And this is a season supposed to be a redemption season. You're starting off with the team that kind of gave up on you.
Yeah.
And you break your thumb in the warm up.
Oh man, I'm sure he was pissed.
Awful. Oh, I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was.
Bad. It's crazy because I want to see him bounce back. Obviously, I want
to. That's all we've talked about, man. We want to see Nick Senzel have a good season. I mean, not against us, but to see him play well is what we want.
Yeah, for sure. Let's catch up with the comments real quick. Scott says, Tim, just don't look at the Pirates record. If the Reds can't win most of their games against the Marlins, I would be pretty upset. That series was did you see the highlights of the series?
I did not.
Okay, so the Pirates beat the Marlins 4 times in Miami. Not taken away from it, sure, whatever. But it was the most Marlins Pirates series you can imagine. Just Yakety Sax should have been playing in the background. That it was one of those just the things that were happening. I was oh my god, but Earl Chapman did have 2 very powerful strikeouts. That mother love, man, could do so much for a young man.
Oh, stop. I just erased that image from my mind, and now it's back.
But
jeez.
Yeah, Pirates are 4-0 for now.
Mm-hmm.
They got dudes coming, and the thing is about them is I know everyone's oh yeah, they're 4-0, and they do have a ton of talent, which we're gonna get into a little bit of that later. But we know how this goes, guys, right? We've been through this for 40 years.
Yep.
They're gonna have a stretch where they're good for 3 years because all their guys are coming up at once, and then their typical ownership is gonna be the typical bums they are. Gonna be oh man, we can't pay all these guys. What do we do? And trade them all, and we're right back to 100 lost Pirates team. Let's not worry about this because It's going to be screwed up some way, shape, or form, like it always is. All right.
Yeah.
Settle.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. They're not going to pay anybody any real money up there. So eventually, all those kids will be like, I'm not staying in Pittsburgh
Yeah.
and not making them what I'm worth, and I'm gonna get out of there. And the ownership will say, yeah, you're right. We're not going to pay you. So
Yeah.
we're gonna restart this thing again. See how it goes.
Bums. Okay, I do want to get to some more Red stuff. Let's go through the division real quick. All right, so St. Louis and the Dodgers have been playing this weekend. They're playing right now. I know St. Louis is up on the Dodgers. And my biggest takeaway from this, and I tweeted this weekend, and I laugh about it all the time. But Mookie Betts has just been having this insane start to the season. Obviously, they had the 2 games in Korea, so they take the week off and they come here. But I was watching him, and he hit that homer on Friday night. That was like, and I literally was like, imagine trading this guy.
Yeah,
like I think I would I made the joke tonight. Like, if I were a Red Sox fan, I would quit being a Red Sox fan.
Yeah,
I would literally be like, you traded who?
Yeah,
but just
that tells you your franchise isn't about winning. Like as much as Boston has a great history of baseball, like it tells you that your organization is not trying to put a winner on the field. If you trade that guy away, that Mookie Betts he's incredible. He's incredible.
The curse of the Mook Bino coming to Boston.
It is. You ain't lying,
dude.
You're not lying about that.
But thanks for beating up on the Cardinals this weekend. That was awesome. Just so freaking good, man. And all this stuff we heard about St. Louis this offseason, right? Oh man, watch out for the Cardinals. I don't give 2 craps about the Cardinals. I know they're winning tonight. I know they won yesterday. They're bums. All right. Yeah. I mean, look, it's the early season. We're not going to go into the sample size, but Michael Ciani, I got time tonight for the Cardinals. Okay. Yeah. Just go ahead. You remember Michael Ciani, everybody? Remember him? Yeah. Brandon says Bill Simmons forever depressed about the Mookie trade. And he should be.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, he absolutely. Anybody from Boston who is a Boston Red Sox fan, you should be still depressed about that.
Yeah, it's not like he asked for a trade.
Yeah.
It's just all right, you out. He's like,
what?
What?
You trade me?
Yeah. Okay. Milwaukee, not too hot this week against the Mets, getting 3 wins. Didn't like that, but maybe that just says more about the Mets and the Brewers. Or it's just
I would definitely say that says more about the Mets than the Brewers.
Or it's just more that Brewers magic. Bryce Terang looks really good, and I'm like, God, just be bad one time.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. 3 games.
No, like I said, I don't think the Mets are great.
Right.
I think that. I mean, not saying the Brewers are bad. I'm not saying that at any stretch, but I don't think the Mets are in a spot of where they're thinking about winning 90-something games this year. I mean, I just don't think they're in that spot, in that position.
Yeah, I agree. And the Cubs had a nice offensive game today, but weren't very impressive. Took some licks from the defending world champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, oh yeah. And the chief part of the Sox return for Mookie is a Yankee. Now they traded him to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Man, that could be a podcast in and of itself. I'm trying to think worst Reds trades of all time, because I think there's Luis Castillo is up there because Edwin Arroyo's hurt and Noelvi Marte suspended.
Yeah.
So that's obviously not going to look good. But Frank Robinson, obviously,
I was going to say you would probably have more knowledge on that because you know where the return came from or what happened to the return. So
yeah, but the Reds don't have a Mookie Betts bad trade. Frank Robinson's probably the closest to it.
Yeah, that's probably the closest.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the big trades they've made in their franchise, so Bronson Arroyo they got for William Opeña, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
The Jesse Winker Suarez trade aged far better than any of us thought it would.
Yeah.
The Tyler Mahle trade is robbery at this point. Which brings us to Spencer Steer.
Right.
Oh my God, today, dude!
Hey, Spencer Steer's my dude, man.
Just
that
professional,
guy,
just a professiontional hitter, man.
Professional hitter. That's exactly what I was going to say, dude. Spencer Steer, that's my dude, man. He gets in every at bat. You feel like you think he's either going to make something happen. Like every at bat, I feel like he's going to get a hit. Like
Same.
it just like every time he comes, you're like, oh, this is single.
Yeah, like at
Yeah,
worst.
yeah, at worst. Oh yeah, this is yeah. He just like you said, he is a professional hitter.
It's so impressive that he's as young as he is and controls the strike zone so well. Man, like that was just crazy. Like just so like today, I mean, Ellie gets the third on that triple, and he does such a great job picking it up and just like knocking the ball in the outfield and bringing him in. That was humongous. But just like all weekend, and like I shouldn't say all weekend, like his whole tenure since he got traded here, this has been who he is, and just like I said, like doesn't care where he hits in the order. Was hitting seventh, for today. I think he hit seventh opening day. I think he hit it higher in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah.
But just always finds a way, man. And again, we're not sitting here talking about how bad his outfield was. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
No. Yeah. He didn't cost us any runs. He didn't do anything crazy in the outfield. He's just so consistent, man. Like every at bat feels like it's just going to be a hit. Like every time he steps to the plate, and he's so professional. I mean, and he's, I think you bring up a really good point. It doesn't matter where he is in the lineup. Like we have a guy like Spencer Steer hitting seventh. like think about that. Like a guy as good a hitter as Spencer Steer is hitting seventh. Like that's insane to think about. But it doesn't matter where you put him. He's full of production. He drives in runs. He gets quality hits. He has quality at bats. And dude, he's just setting himself up for a great year. Like he's just solid all the way through.
Yeah. So I did, which Jeff's in the chat tonight. What up, Jeff? Jeff Chenapel, Strawberry Ice. We did his show on Thursday. Joe and I did down at Moorline, which was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, "What's your bold take?" And I was like, "I think Spencer Steers could be an all-star." And then I thought about it, and I was like, "I don't know if that's a bold take anymore. I think that's just possible."
That's possible. Yeah, no doubt. Like, yeah, he's just one of those dudes, man. Like it's just he's got all-star written all over him.
He does.
I mean, he really does. I mean, the way he, like I said, the way he attacks at bats, the way he makes contact, like he has all-star written all over him for sure.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man, let's get into yesterday. I don't want to try to bring the mood down by any means, but let's kind of get to a couple things.
Absolutely.
And the two things you got to point out, let's start with Hunter Green. Like there were stretches yesterday where he looked pretty solid. Don't be wrong. I don't want to like just completely say he had a horrible outing. But man, I was just like watching him. And the thing I've noticed, and this is obviously a continuing trend with him, how many 3-ball counts did he get in yesterday? I felt like at least 2 batters in netting. He was in a 3-ball count.
Yeah.
And like he battled back in a couple of them. I mean, he had what 7, 8 strikeouts, so that's great. But and I understand his defense didn't do him any favors.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna act like it's just like one of these things where like it's all his fault by any stretch of the matter. But barely used that split finger that we've been talking about for months.
Yeah.
Right. Had 4 walks.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Everything was high. Like it's like, and what I said in our Slack was, look, I fully believe Hunter Green is going to be great. I have no reason to believe he's not going to be. He has no reason to not be with how talented he is. But we're having the same conversation again.
Yep.
And it's like, what point do we stop having this conversation? What point is it like? And I understand that he's still learning how to pitch in the majors, that he had only had 1 minor league season. We've gone through all this. I don't think anyone's here excuses at this point, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but like we really need to just kind of like we got to hone this in. Like if you want to be who we all think you're going to be and who you think you're going to be, you got to figure this out, man. Like if you're like, I'm not send Hunter Green to the bullpen guy by any stretch of the matter, but like you worked on becoming a 3-4 pitch pitcher, and this is what you told us all about, and you're still walking guys, you're still getting yourself in bad situations, and you're still like losing like and it seems like I don't want to like question like anything about him, but it seems like it's like when something doesn't go his way at times, he kind of gets himself in like a pickle. He just looks like get like 3 outs in 1 batter. It sometimes is what it
Mhm.
looks like. And I'm not acting like I know what I'm talking about here. It's just kind of a fan talking at the moment. But it's just those things, man, where it's like, what is like, when do we get past this? Like, what point is it
Yeah.
like, we're not here anymore? Like, what point do we get to the point it's like, look, dude, I can get these outs. I'm going to get these outs.
Yeah. And I guess that's my biggest thing. And I don't want to be Mr. Negative because that's not me. But
Same.
like when I don't know. I'm trying to think of a nice way of putting this. When does he finally get it?
Yeah. It's all going to come
And,
together at some point.
yeah, you know, 4 walks, and I get it. That's part of the game. But 4 walks, dude, for a guy that's supposed to be your ace, isn't
Against that team.
acceptable. Yeah, it's not acceptable. You know what I mean? I mean, 7 strikeouts is great, but you have 4 walks that counteracts everything that you're doing. You know, your pitch counts are super high. You couldn't get through 5 innings. I mean, after the guy that they made the opening day starter got through 6 solid strong,
Yeah.
no walks. You know what I mean? So like
pitch to
when
contact. Like, yeah.
yeah, like when do you put it all together? Um and I guess that's my thing. Like, and I'm not giving up on Hunter Green.
No,
That's
not
not
at
what I'm
all.
saying. But I'm like when does it come together for him? Like when does it become where we just say, great, Hunter Green's got the ball. We know we're going to get 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 solid innings, 100 pitches, and he's just going to go out there and dominate and give up 4 hits, maybe a run to really good baseball teams. That's, I mean, just being consistent. Do you feel like Green is still
Yeah.
good? Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do.
Scott asked,
And
do
I
you
think
feel like Green's still getting flustered easily?
yes, absolutely, I do. I think that's part of it. Um, and I'm not saying that. I mean, I don't know anything about being a major league player,
Sure.
professional, whatever. But it feels like to me that like he almost sometimes doesn't trust his stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like he's afraid to just pitch to contact because he's so reliant on the fastball. And everybody in Major League Baseball can hit a fastball. So like he's not confident in the other stuff. So then he gets flustered when he can't get out. So then he's got to go back to the fastball, and then people are timing the fastball because sometimes he poorly locates it. So it's just a whole bunch of different things that I feel like, you know, hopefully he puts those together. He's gonna need that third and fourth pitch. Those have to be strikes.
Yeah.
They can't be walks. They can't be you know what I mean, they can't be, you know, just throwaway pitches. He's got to be able to locate that third and fourth pitch before he can make any kind of progress moving forward, because you can see him getting frustrated not being able to locate those pitches. So I hope he puts it together, because I think he's an amazing talent. But I mean, trying to get by on just a fastball, dude, is not. You're like they said, you're playing a dangerous game, Scarecrow.
Yeah.
When you're lighting matches with the, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
man.
Like
Woo-hoo.
you're just playing a dangerous game. So, you know, it's the first start of the year, so I'm not going to go too crazy.
Right.
But I hope he gets that opportunity to put those things. And here's the thing: even still, we had a chance to win that ball game yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
for sure.
even with him not pitching the greatest outing, we still had a chance to win. So,
yeah, a couple things. I mean, you know, Fairchild calls off that play with Ellie.
yep,
We might be having a different conversation right now.
yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Brandon makes the point. You know, it looked like he was trying to paint the corners pretty often yesterday. I love that strategy. I'm all for that. It's just other things that come with it. And I'm not, look, this was not Tim and Ben hate Hunter Green or Tim and Ben are getting up on Hunter Green. This is just like, at some point, like you've got to move past this like 22 pitch inning where you didn't give up a hit. You had 3 outs. Like we got to move past this. Like we've got to, it's time for the next step. You look at what Nick Lodolo did in his rehab outing today.
I watched that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Pitched well. Pitched really well.
It looks like he's gonna have one more start, then he'll be back and on the 10th. So that's exciting. But like, dude, like, so in that same podcast I mentioned earlier with India, he talked about facing Lodolo in live BP, and it was really funny. He's like, dude, he throws you a fastball, and it looks like it's coming right at you. Like I jump out of the way. because it looks like it's gonna hit me on my hip every time. He's like, and then it slides right
Yep.
into the strike zone. It's like, he's like, if he's healthy, he's a Cy Young winner. Like he's just if he stays on the
He's
bit,
got that stuff.
yeah. It's just like bad. It's so like that's exciting to see that he's doing that. Let's get to Alexis Diaz. So who was last? I think it was one of our listeners last week. Forgive me if I don't remember who. We appreciate the insight, obviously, each and every week from everybody, but brought up that they were worried about Alexis Diaz and said, like, at some point you can't use spring training, just as like it's spring training is no big deal. Because the trend at the end of the last year was not great for him, right? Like we're like he was spent and he was overworked, and we were kind of like looking at it this way. So yesterday did nothing to make anyone feel better.
No,
not at all. Gets one out, gives up 3 runs, walks 2 guys. It was just rough. Kind of not to piggyback off what we said about Green. I'm not at the point where I'm like, replace him as the closer, because you've already heard me say the thing about closers. I don't give 2 craps about it. Like, I don't think just one guy can get 3 outs in the 9th. I think that's stupid. But I don't feel as great about him in that situation as I have in years past. And like, I think it could be turned around, but that was, not great and very, very, very stressful.
Yeah. Here's the thing is like, it would have been different. It would have been different if I felt like they were just making good contact and they were just dry. Like he was all over the place.
Yeah.
He was he hit a guy. He walked to. He just looked bad. Like it's like they called him in, and he's like, "What? I'm pitching today." You're like, "Yeah, man, you're the closer." Like, what do you think? Yeah, you're pitching today. Let's go. He's like, "Huh? What? Me?"
That
he's
guy?
like, "You don't. No, you are the closer. You're the guy." So it just looked like he was just not ready. It looked like. His stuff just was not. His stuff was not on at all. And we talked about this. We talked about this, like you said. He just did not look good. It was not a good outing. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, just because I think that's just one game, one save. But hopefully he can get that corrected. I will say this. About David Bell, and he did it today. Like he was not afraid to pull the trigger and get somebody out of there that can't get outs. And another good thing about that is that we have the depth enough to be able to do so, and be able to put guys in like Suter.
Could he have had a better debut week in Cincinnati?
Dude, he was incredible.
So good.
Yeah, he was incredible. So. But it's good to have veteran guys like that can come in and get you 2 outs when it looks like the whole, ship is falling apart. So he came in, of course he had that amazing opening day where he just shut the door.
2 innings,
2 innings of just quality work. And then he comes in yesterday, and I can't say that it was too little too late, but he still came in and got the 2 outs that we needed to get out of that inning.
Yeah.
But the good thing, like I said, is that we have a very deep roster of good relievers, and if hopefully, he'll give Alexis Diaz enough opportunity, but he also knows that winning baseball games are important, and if he can't get the job done, then you have enough depth there that you can call on other guys. Like you said, I'm not really. The guy of getting 99 saves in a year is kind of over. Like
there's no more Eric Gagne. Let's not.
Yeah. It's that I'm kind of over that. Like and I think there's no more guys like that really out there. But I think that if you do it by committee or you go to the guy that's hot in the 9th or whatever the case may be, you just need to get those 3 outs. So. If that's Alexis Diaz, great. If not, then we go through and find somebody else that can get 3 outs in the 9th.
Yeah, Braden said earlier in the chat, he felt like we could see a situation where in the future we get to the point where Fernando Cruz is the closer, and that's very possible. Again, closer is a silly rule, but I understand it takes a special person to get 3 outs in the 9th inning.
Yep, and listen. Yeah, I mean, in the '90s, it was the Nasty Boys. We had 3 guys that could get night.
Yeah.
You know what
In
I mean? So,
'99 was
yeah,
Williamson, Sullivan, and
yeah,
Graves.
and Graves, yeah. I mean, we had 3 guys. I mean, that could get 3 outs in the ninth. It doesn't really. I don't care how we get them. We just need to get them.
Yeah. Speaking of
But I
Scott
could definitely
Williamson,
see Cruz, man. Shoo, I could see Cruz. Man, his
Scott
stuff.
Williamson was
Yes,
recently
sir.
on Red Leg Roundtable with Seth Shaner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Seth's in the chat tonight hanging out. That's nice.
What up, Seth?
Yeah. Did you check out his interview with Pokey Reese? It was awesome.
I did. It was great.
So good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I appreciate
really
that Pokey could laugh about his 4-error day on opening
Yeah.
day, 98, like 97,
Yeah.
98, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that he was like, look, it got better.
It did get. Yep.
It got better.
Yeah.
Did you know that? So I was looking up the 99 team just because Seth's been having all those guys on, and this is totally off topic. Did you know Barry Larkin played 161 games that year?
Did he really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That season might have ended his career, but
I was going to say probably. And that was it.
Yep. All right.
So much for Barry.
Next 4 years were like a lot of on and off the IL or the DL
Yeah,
at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which sucked. But yeah, he played 161 games that year.
Wow.
Had a couple where it's like came in pinch hit, don't be wrong. But like
Yeah,
still.
But played.
Yeah. Like Joey was doing that in MVP caliber years. So
yeah.
You know, obviously Barry's a Hall of Fame for a reason. So
Absolutely.
That's pretty crazy. Philly's coming up this weekend. So also, hey, I found out this week, for those who don't know, Friday against the Mets, when they come back home, is the Apple TV game. So
oh really? Okay.
Yeah. So I heard the broadcast is better this year. I did not catch either of the Friday games. So I'll check it out. But let's get to the Phillies. I also have to preface this. Yid said today on the radio that apparently it's supposed to rain all 3 days in Philly. So
is it really?
Yeah. Hopefully we get these games in. But tomorrow we got Andrew Abbott going on against Christopher Sanchez of Philly. Last year was 3-5, 344 with 99 innings pitched, left-hander. Tuesday, we have Doug taking the mound, old Graham Ashcraft, going against Spencer Turnbull, who is not a very good major league pitcher. Let's just go ahead and say that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I feel pretty good about Tuesday. Scott said that St. Louis LA Dodgers on Friday was pretty good coverage from Apple TV Plus. Good to know. And Wednesday, we got Moontas versus Wheeler in the 105 getaway day game.
Oh.
Very excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be, yeah.
If you're a fan of pitching, that's going to be a fun one.
That should be a good one.
Brandon says, Anthony Rendon won't play 161 the rest of his career. Dude.
Facts.
He was the first batter of the new season because the Brewers and Mets were supposed to start the year and they got postponed. So the first game was the Orioles and the Angels, and he was the first batter.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know what I thought when I watched that game? I'm so happy Corbin Burns left the NL Central. Oh my God, I'm so happy he went to Baltimore.
Yes.
We don't have to see that 3-4 times a year now. Oh my God, he was unreal.
Yeah, he was incredible. Incredible.
Was watching some of the I watched like the condensing game and I was like, what the? Oh, thank God. But
yeah, he was lights out.
Yeah, so the Phillies had an interesting weekend. Wait a minute, what? The Cardinals lost?
No, are you serious? Are you kidding me? They were at 4-2.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, they lost 5-4. Are you kidding me?
I just hate when bad things happen to good people.
Man.
You hate to see it. Ben, I can literally hear
Gave up
disappointment in your voice.
Gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Oh, man.
Max Muncy, go ahead, homer.
Oh.
You hate to see it, guys. Just such a shame.
Oh, well.
All right, cool. St. Louis Cardinals are in last place. We already have the -9 run differential. Hate to see it.
Oh, man.
Hate to see it.
But it was so promising.
Yeah. I mean, they signed Kyle Gibson.
Yeah. Return of the Redbirds.
You're like, that was actually some of like your best radio work of
You
all
like
time.
that?
Yeah, that was really good. Phillies got their first win today and a fun game with the Bravos. But
Yeah.
First hope they get these games in because the way Yin
Absolutely.
was talking didn't sound like it was very promising for the next couple days.
Let's hope they get them in.
But it's a fun first road series. I know Philly, that park has not always been kind to the Reds by any stretch of the matter. So hopefully we can get a couple wins there, at worst 2, at most 3, obviously. See old friend Nick Castellanos. So I watched a little bit of the Phillies game on Friday.
Yeah.
When they played Atlanta, and they gave Atlanta just had that like crazy inning where they put like 7-8 runs up. And I cannot get used to Bryce Harper playing first base.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And I understand why he's playing first base. It's just so Sydney said, so Tuesdays either on TBS or TNT. Are we getting those games back?
Oh, really? TBS is.
Yeah,
we're
TBS.
getting TBS on baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
What? All right.
I like that.
Now give me my NBA on NBC back.
All right.
Like,
give me a little This Week in Baseball, and I'll be happy.
Right. So Tuesday on TBS. Thanks for the heads up on that, Sid. So you can see Doug on national TV.
Oh, that's legit.
Perfect. Shout out John Sadak getting the day off in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
Good for him.
Go see the Bell.
Yeah. WrestleMania week, the Reds are in Philadelphia.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
How about that? They're there, but we aren't.
I know. I wonder if one of them will throw out the first pitch. I can see a little Becky Lynch throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey threw it out this week.
He's
like Philadelphia's favorite son now.
He is, yeah.
Are you going to the podcast in Cincinnati?
You know what? I thought about it, but I'm not sure if we're in town or not. We may be at some kind of tournament or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to get tickets, and they sold out in like 15 minutes.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'm not paying secondary market for a podcast recording. I'm sorry.
No,
not doing that.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we come up for the Mets on Friday, which looks like Hunter will get that start. I don't have them in front of me who the Mets will have for that game, but
yeah,
hopefully the Mets do what they did against the Brewers next weekend or against us. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Last thing before we get out of here. So I'm sure you've noticed, like all of baseball fans have, that Juan Soto's really awesome at baseball.
Yes.
If you're a Yankee fan and you're watching this every night, which I'm sure you're pumped. They're 4-0. Like they look. I mean, he's unreal, obviously. Is there some part of you that's like got your stomach twisting because you keep hearing these rumors he's going to the Mets next year?
Yes and no. I'm going to enjoy it while I have it.
Yeah.
But nothing about him says Mets.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like even the Mets are like, we don't know what to do.
Oh, Brandon making an Always Sunny reference. Let's go.
But nah, I don't think so. I think they're okay. I think they're happy having him this year. I just don't. I mean, I guess if the Mets paid him enough, I guess he would go there. But what are you gonna put around him?
Yeah.
I mean, you pay him all that money. What else are you gonna put around him?
Yeah, it's also just insane how good he is.
Yeah, he is. He's
like when he's like locked in, it's insane. Like
yeah. When he's got an opportunity to win a ring, like it's gonna be scary hours for a lot of people.
Yeah, he has a ring already. That's the scary thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like
he was like very young. Yeah,
he's gonna have an opportunity with the Yankees here with that lineup. They could do some incredible things.
Yeah, they for sure could. All right, dudes. Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap up this week's show. I think we touched on everything important from the first weekend of games. So thank you all as always for hanging out. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
What a great weekend. What a great day at Great American Ballpark. Be sure to keep an eye out for everything going on here at the Riverfront. Let's go through it all, shall we? Let's start with here on our feed. As you know, we've got Late Night Reds every Sunday night live. Monday for all the podcasters who can't hang out, where myself, the guy on the left, and Ben Brown give you a show each and every week. On Fridays, you've got the Riverfront with Nate and Chad Dotson and their cast of crews that they have come in and out, like the Bill Lacks and the Chris Garbers of the world, our guys. So check them out. And then, of course, every other week, we've got Red Leg Roundtable. Seth Shaner just had Pokey Reese this week. We got, I believe, Kent Merker's coming up soon to be on the show. So that's going to be a fun interview.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah. So be sure to check those out. It's a lot of fun. Riverfront U, we're killing it over there. Basketball season's over for all of our shows now. So we're working on our next plan. And by the way, big announcement coming soon about the future of the Riverfront. It's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very good thing. So can't wait to kind of share everything with you guys as well. But if you're just checking us out for the first time and you like what we heard, please take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel or your podcast app subscription of choice. We will definitely appreciate that. But hey, on behalf of Ben Brown, this is Tim Daniel. Have a great weekend, everybody, and go Reds.
Go Reds.